Babylon didn't start big. In fact, for thousands of years, it was basically irrelevant. It's a tiny settlement since the 4th millennium BC. Known in Akkadian as Babylon, Gate of God. Even that name came from an older Sumerian word meaning the same thing. The first time Babylon even shows up in history is during the collapse of the Akkadian Empire, around the reign of Sharkal-Asharga the Great's great-grandson, and even then, still insignificant. After Akkad fell, Babylon became just another provincial town under the 3rd dynasty of Ur. But Babylon's true strength was its location right between the Tigris and Euphrates on major trade routes, irrigation networks, and between Sumer in the south and Akkad in the north. Perfect positioning, waiting for the right moment. After Ur's collapse and waves of invasions, the region fractured. City-states fought for control. Uruk, Larsa, Ishnina, Nippur, everyone wanted power. Then in 1894 BC, an Amorite leader named Sumio-Boom seized Babylon. Finally, Babylon was independent. Still small, still not a powerhouse, but growing. In 1792 BC, a young king named Hammurabi took the throne. At that moment, Babylon wasn't impressive. Larsa dominated the south. Shnana and Mari ruled the north. Assyria was only beginning to rise. But Hammurabi changed everything. First, he fixed the basics. Repaired canals, stabilized taxes, strengthened administration, then came the conquests. In 1763 BC, Hammurabi crushed Larsa. Then he took Ishnana. Then he destroyed Mari by the time the dust settled. Hammurabi ruled a kingdom stretching from the Persian Gulf to the middle Euphrates. Babylon was no longer a side character. It was the capital of Mesopotamia. Babylon society had 3 major classes: Occlum-free elite landowners, Ushkinim, dependent commoners Wardum, slaves with 0 rights Hammurabi. Its famous law code carved into stone claimed the laws came straight from Marduk to protect the weak from the strong. And yes, the eye for an eye principle appears here. But only when both people were the same social class. Punishments changed depending on status. But this code helped unify a huge kingdom under one legal system. Babylon became famous as, especially to Greeks, and later the Bible, as a city of sin. Herodotus claimed every woman had to sleep with a stranger in Ishtar's temple at least once. Sounds shocking, but there's 0 archaeological evidence it ever happened. Most scholars think it was a misunderstanding or pure exaggeration. The myth stuck, giving rise to the legendary whore of Babylon. But historically, it's fiction. After Hammurabi died, his empire started falling apart. His son Samshuluna couldn't hold it together. Southern cities revolted, Assyria grew stronger. New tribes, the Kassites, appeared, economy crumbled. In 1595 BC, the Hittites invaded, plundered Babylon, and left. Chaos followed, and into that chaos stepped the Kassites. The Kassites didn't destroy Babylon, they embraced it. They adopted its gods, its language, its administration, and rebuilt the temples. Their dynasty lasted 400 years, the longest in Babylonian history. Babylon became a respected great power, trading and negotiating with Egypt, the Hittites, and Assyria as an equal. But by the 13th century BC, Assyria struck hard, captured Babylon, and carried its king off in chains. Later, the Elamites delivered the final blow in 1155 BC, dragging Babylon's gods to Susa. Babylonia fractured. Assyria moved in. Under Tiglath-Pileser III and his successors, Babylon was reduced to a vassal state. Then came one of the darkest moments in its history. In 689 BC, after another rebellion, Assyrian king Sennacherib destroyed Babylon, completely burning it, flooding it, and trying to erase it from existence. His own son later rebuilt it to restore legitimacy. But tensions never stopped. When Assyria weakened in the late 7th century BC, Babylon rose again. 626 BC, Nabopolassar, a Chaldean leader, seized the city and formed the Neo-Babylonian Empire, allied with the Medes. Together, they destroyed Nineveh in 612 BC and wiped Assyria off the map. Babylon was reborn. Nabopolassar's son, Nebuchadnezzar II, turned Babylon into the greatest city on earth. He conquered the Levant, besieged Jerusalem twice, destroyed Solomon's temple, and deported its elite, creating the Babylonian captivity. And at home, he transformed Babylon, rebuilt the massive Esagila temple, raised the towering ziggurat at Eminenka, possibly inspiring the Tower of Babel, built the double walls and enormous moat, created the stunning Ishtar Gate, constructed the royal palace, possibly built the Hanging Gardens. For 40 years, Babylon shone brighter than ever. After Nebuchadnezzar, chaos returned, coups, assassinations, short-lived kings. Then came Nabonidus, who angered the priesthood by elevating the moon god Sin over Marduk, came by abandoning the city to live in Arabia. Bad timing, because in the east Persia was rising. In 539 BC, Cyrus the Great invaded. Babylon's army collapsed. City surrendered apparently without a fight. Babylon became one of Persia's great capitals, but its political importance steadily faded. In 331 BC, Alexander the Great entered Babylon as a conqueror and dreamed of making it his capital. He died there in 323 BC before he could rebuild it. His successors shifted power to Seleucia. Babylon's temples emptied, its scribes vanished, and the city slowly died. By the 1st century BC, writers described Babylon as almost abandoned. By the Islamic conquest, it was ruins. Locals dismantled its bricks to build new towns, a legendary name. But no longer a living city, from provincial outpost to imperial superpower to ruin. Babylon shaped law, religion, architecture, and mythology across the world. And even in ruins, its stories Hammurabi's laws, Nebuchadnezzar's conquests, the Tower of Babel echo through history.